It was a simple interior that met Mulberry's eyes as he edged inside the church. Gazing at the time-worn pillars and pews, he chalked up mental estimations of their ages, noticed with heightened interest the carvings and inscriptions that hung above the oak-wrought arcades, and marvelled at the artistry of the few stained-glass windows, through which sunlight poured in shafts of softened orange. Up at the altar, an emaciated-looking old man was hunched, arranging the cloth, tutting to himself as he struggled to keep it looking neat. As soon as he had straightened one side, the other looked lopsided. Sympathetically, Mulberry approached, holding out a helping hand. "Here, please allow me to assist." "Hey, get off! I said get off!" "Goodness me!" exclaimed Mulberry, slanting backwards as the frighted verger, for the old man's solemn black robes, dangling cross, and lack of a collar suggested him as such, lifted a hand as if to strike. "Get away from me, you! Don't you touch these cloths!" "Peace, peace, my man, for heaven's sakes!" Mulberry moved cautiously, slowly, baring his palms to signify non-violent intent. "I had no intention of distressing you. I merely wished to offer my assistance. After all, you did look to be rather struggling with—" "I don't need no help," the old man mumbled, resuming his duties with half a wary eye on Mulberry, seeming now to mismanage his arrangement of the cloth all the more. Embarrassed, he cursed beneath his breath. "In which case, I shall not offer it. God forbid that I should try to help my fellow man as he toils beneath his burden." Plainly uncomfortable at Mulberry's taking up the Lord's name in vain, the verger hissed once more, almost inaudibly, shuffling about the altar with an irritated air. "His house of prayer is this, on consecrated ground. No need for language like that. No bloody need for it." Sighing, Mulberry attempted a more conciliatory tone. "I apologise, good man, and I can see you are busy, so I'll leave you to your duties. But pray, before we part, I wonder if you could direct me to the vicar of this house of God it is, and he comes in here with his swearing and his cursing. Now look, I've already said I'm sorry. Go away, would you? Just go away! Whatever is the matter?" And Mulberry looked up to see a stern, sober-looking man in neat black clerical clothing. The vicar at last, he assumed and hoped. "Is everything all right, Mr. Frike?" He drew up to the anxious verger like a parent, even though he, the vicar, was clearly the junior of the two, and placed an avuncular hand on his shoulder. "It's him!" And Frike jabbed an accusatory finger towards Mulberry. "I don't know who he is. He just crept up in here and started grabbing at me cloths." "Oh, come now, you know that isn't true. He just appeared out of nowhere." "Well, hardly. I understand you were looking for the vicar?" asked the vicar. "Well, here I am. My sexton advised that I might find you in here. You are Duke Humphrey's son, I gather. It is my honour to receive you, sir. Your father and I were firm friends. Forgive me, Father Solomon York." He extended a hand, which Mulberry shook, while introducing himself also. Father York then turned to the verger. "Mr. Mulberry, I am pleased to introduce Mr. Jeremiah Frike, verger of St. Jude's. Now that you have been formally introduced, perhaps the friction of your first meeting can be, shall we say, transcended in the manner of friendship and goodwill." "Very pleased to meet you, sir," beamed Mulberry, grasping the verger's hand in his and giving it an enthusiastic shake. The frail Frike's hand was like a skeleton's, and the force of the handshake almost dragged him across the floor. Attempting a smile, he managed a breathless, "Pleased to meet you," but continued eyeing the guest suspiciously. "Now Jeremiah here is a veteran of this church," the vicar was continuing, again as if referring to a child. "Aren't you, Jeremiah? A stalwart servant who has presided over his duties throughout many twists and turns in our building's illustrious history." "I've been here a lot of years," affirmed the verger, all the while fixing Mulberry in a stiff stare, as if this claim of professional antiquity bestowed a senior air, warning the other against affront. "So, Mr. Mulberry, this is your first visit to St. Jude's. the vicar probed. "Indeed it is, sir, though I sincerely hope it will not be my last. You see," and here he began to run his hand across a shiny pew, tapping his fingers on the wood, and revealing a nervousness he had hitherto concealed. "You see, well, to be honest, I really rather fancy getting a job at the church." He gazed up at its towering turrets, then fixed the vicar with a cheery grin. "So I was wondering if you had any vacancies."